So, the topic today is going to be on truth. It came about of a conversation of ours a couple of nights ago. I think we're in a society where everybody is talking about, I'm telling my truth, this is my truth, I'm being truthful to who I am, and so forth. But something bigger that needs to be talked about regarding truth is being able to tell the truth. I think in families, there's a lot of family secrets because people are refusing to tell the truth or acknowledge the truth. And so these secrets continue. People pass away and they take it to their grave, and people are still hurting because no one shared the truth with them. So today we want to talk a little bit about truth. Something else, there's plenty of passages in the Bible that talks about the truth, starting out in the Ten Commandments. We all know that thou shalt not steal, kill, commit adultery. You must not bear false witness against your neighbor. That's also lying. That's not telling the truth. So I think in the word, it's saying that it's not good enough not to tell a lie, but you have to also tell the truth. You can't do a half truth. You can't twist it around. You can't leave something out. You have to tell the full truth. And unfortunately, people want to say like, hey, I want you to tell me the truth about X, Y, and Z. But a lot of people aren't really willing to hear the truth. A lot of friendships, relationships, families have been broken because of the truth. And one thing, that I know I have gotten upset with someone for telling me the truth, and I have to stop and say, why am I upset? Because someone has said this to me. And 9 times out of 10, it's because it is the truth and it hurts. It doesn't mean that it shouldn't have been said, but I do believe that we should always speak the truth in love.
Does the truth hurt?
Well,
or does it set you free?
It does set you free, but also in Ephesians 4:15, it says that we are to speak the truth in love. And I think sometimes the truth hurts because it's not spoken in love.
So you're saying when you speak the truth, a truthful person is coming in love? Is that what you're saying?
No, you should speak it in love. Like something as simple as I could tell you, oh my goodness, your breath is stinking. It could be the truth, but I haven't told you that in love. I could be like, oh,
why we always talk about my breath?
No.
So they'll be thinking that my breath be stinking. That's an example for everything, because my breath stinking.
Okay.
My breath does not.
Okay.
It
doesn't. It doesn't. And I'm speaking the truth. Today our topic is truth. I'm speaking the truth.
Give me another example. Go ahead.
Your feet is stinking.
Oh my God. You know what?
But there's a way that I could go about it. Without
How would you tell somebody then that their feet stink without telling them, man, your feet stink?
Well, you could be like, you know what? Did you work out today? My feet sweats a lot and I have foot insoles. And did you work out today? Or, do you have sweaty feet? Because I used to suffer from the same thing. Or, this is something good that you can use for your feet. Sometimes you don't even have to say anything. You can actually just buy a product and give that to the person. I mean, there's different ways. I don't think the feet stinking is necessarily a good example.
I was just saying, just for example, I know there are many ways that you can do it.
It's many ways, but again, Ephesians 4:15 says that we should speak the truth in love and not viciously try to hurt someone, because sometimes people speak the truth and their intention is to hurt you, even though it is the truth. But I think, like you said, the truth will set you free. Sometimes just knowing the truth is that very eye-opening moment.
But the thing about it is, so many people, they try to act like the truth isn't right here in front of us. So they feel more comfortable telling a lie, even though the truth is right here in front of us. For instance, like say, if I had cheated on you, right? That truth would be right there in front of you for you to know that I cheated on you. But I can come to you and say, no, I didn't do that. But I'm saying, as far as people saying, you have a lot of people that will lie about it. No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. And they continue to lie, even though you may know the truth. I'm not saying that you fully, how sometimes you can know something but not know it, if that makes sense.
It's a matter of if you're willing to acknowledge it.
Yes.
I think. Now, your example that you gave, I don't necessarily agree where you were like, oh, you can know that I'm cheating on you, but then come back and tell you that I'm not. Everybody doesn't know when somebody is
I didn't say
cheating
that you would. Well, I didn't
everybody
say it
doesn't know that.
wasn't.
You said it's right there in front of you. Everybody doesn't know.
I guess for me, you don't have to be like, oh, I saw you do it. No. If I changed a little something in our marriage, guarantee you that you would know.
I would notice, but
you would notice. You would notice, but so that's what I'm saying. Like something similar to that, meaning like you would come and ask me like, honey, this is something I've never seen you do before. Did you or whatever? And
everything okay?
Yeah, and I would lie. Not me, but a lot of people would lie, even though it's right there in front of you.
Whatever is done in the darkness will come to light. That is true. I believe that's true. It is true.
Give me more examples that you can go with.
True. Is sometimes we don't want to acknowledge it, like you were saying. Sometimes it's right there in front of us. We don't want to acknowledge it. And that's because sometimes we want to stay right where we are because we're comfortable in whatever we're doing. That's the reality. We get comfortable and fear. You're shame.
Not realizing no matter what, you can have fear, shame, whatever the case may be. But if you're not revealing yourself to the truth, that lie is going to continue for years and years and years. Before you know it, the truth still gonna have to come out, and you have to let all that time waste instead of saying, you know what, I messed up. I was wrong. Suck it up. Whatever the consequence may be, and move on. And as hard as it may be, it's freeing. I've been there. Instead of just saying, you know what, I messed up. I said the wrong thing. A lot of it just being able to come to somebody and say, you know what, I did mess up. That's your truth. I did mess up. And look that person in the eye, but I'm sorry. I'm different now. I'm whatever it may be. It can be a lot of things. But you continue that lie is eating you up, and it's eating the person that you're lying to up, and time is passing, the time that you can't get back. That's my problem with telling lies. And how this verse correlates to you should know the truth, and that truth will set you free, because it's freeing. No matter what. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's free. And the only reason I know this is because I've done it for myself. This is something that we try to hold up to in our marriage. You tell me some things sometimes, and I'm like, man, that cut me real deep. But somebody got to tell me the truth. Because if you're not telling me the truth, somebody else out there is not going to tell me. And they're looking at me like, man, look at this.
So why do you think people who are close to you, and this is for anyone, I'm not just saying you specifically, don't feel comfortable telling someone the truth? And I'll give an example, and I don't want to use this example, but I'm going to give it anyway. So think of R. Kelly, right?
R. Kelly.
Okay. And how he had all these people around him that potentially knew about his misconduct. I'll just say it like that. But no one, I'm not going to say no one, the majority did not say like, hey man, what you're doing is not right. I'm not going to go get a young girl for you. I'm not going to be a part of this and continue to be in your inner circle knowing what you're doing, because what you're doing is not right. Why do you think people are so afraid of speaking the truth?
Well, if you want to use R. Kelly's situation, R. Kelly, if somebody would have came to him and told him that, he probably would have told him to go to sit down and shut up somewhere, for one. But for people, a lot of people, they won't say anything because of fear. You know, there are not a lot of people out here that will sit down and say, you know what, no matter what he says, whatever, he deserves to know the honest truth, regardless of what comes after that.
But isn't it possibly fear on both sides? It's not the fear of what that person may respond to you, but it's also potentially the fear of what it may do to a person. So I think the truth can go both ways, right? There's a fear that, oh my goodness, if I say something, something's going to happen to me. And then there's also a fear of if I tell this person, something can happen to them. And I'll give an example. Well, I'll use this example. Growing up, there was a woman who had 2 kids. And she was with this guy, and he was under the impression that both of the kids was his, but in actuality, one of the kids was not. And this child was like 7 years old. So, you know, going and telling him, hey, this isn't your child, it's the fear that it may hurt him knowing that. Not so much I'm afraid of what's going to be done to me. So I think the truth can go both ways. You could have a fear of something happening to you, or you can have a fear of something happening to someone else.
That can be absolutely true. But at the end of the day, who is the truth for? The truth is for each individual, no matter what is on the other side.
So when do you tell the truth? When it's someone in your inner circle?
No matter what.
Well, some people will easily say, like, I'm gonna stay in my lane. That's none of my business. Even though you could know a truth about a situation.
Yeah, I do that. I wouldn't go up to somebody that I don't know and tell them, you know. But for the most part, a lot of the lies and are coming from people that are close to you. It's not people that are out here, you know, whatever, that you don't, you know, they're having their lives going on, but it don't really affect you. It's the people that are close to you that are really doing most of the lying and not telling the truth. And that's why so many families today are torn, and it's not coming from present day, something that just happened recently. If we go back in history, what we have been doing for a while now is studying history, this stuff has been going on for years upon years upon years. Why? Because everybody's saying things like what you're saying. Man, but that person on the other side is going to be hurt. But they're hurt anyway. So the scripture says you should know the truth, and the truth will set you free. If they have to go through that hurt to set them free, that's just what they have to go through. Because at the end of the day, you're hurting anyway. So my thing is, they have to be afforded the opportunity to be set free. If somebody's saying, oh, I don't want to say nothing because this person is going to be hurt and this could happen, whatever, you're not affording that person the opportunity to be free before they go to the grave. At the end of the day, whether people want to talk about it or not, they're hurting anyway, mentally. They're hurting inside. And you can see how it's killing people from inside out.
But do you think there's a time and a place to tell someone the truth?
No, there's not a time and a place, because there's no perfect time. You know, there is only God's time. And if you know the time is limited and you understand time, that's something that you can never get back.
What about when it comes to kids and telling them truth that could really hurt them, and they're not? Some people might say they're not ready to handle it at a very young age. So you still don't think it's timing has anything to do with it?
Kids are totally different. I would say kids are totally different. You got to tread, I'm not going to say tread differently, but I would say, yes, it's the different approach. I guess you may be more of like asking questions and, you know, things of that nature, just to afford them the opportunity to see if they're available for it. And just through those questions, you'll find out if they're ready for it or not. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be ready for it.
You think?
For the most part. Mm-hmm. For the most part, I think so.
So in your life, were there any truths that was told to you when you were older that you wish was told to you younger? And it may not be a situation for you.
That I was told to when I was older. I'm gonna tell you like this: the people that are my greatest friends today, the people that are still the closest to me today, are the people that came to me and were straight up real and told me the truth. That's a true friend. That's true love. I had a friend that came to me before we got married, because I was in my, little whatever and thinking, no, it has certain things got to be a certain way. And she looked me dead in my face and she said, "You stupid." That changed. Just that. Most people don't do that.
What were you being stupid about?
Just being stupid. Sometimes you can be thinking that certain people have a certain expectation or thinking certain things have to be conformed to their way of thinking. If it's not conforming to their way of thinking and you don't have anybody else that is truthful with you to make you think differently, you're always thinking this little small little box. So she came to me and told me, "You're stupid." And it made me jump out of my box like, wait a minute, why did she say I'm stupid?
Did it hurt when she said that?
Absolutely it hurt. Mm-hmm. Truth hurts, but the truth sets you free. And if she hadn't told me that, I would not be sitting here sitting beside the person that I love to death, my best friend. That's why I'm saying that truth matters, because truth progresses you forward into a new dimension, a new way of thinking, and new way of loving, a new way of understanding. Because if nobody stands up for the truth, 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to stay in their small box of thinking, which kills them anyway. Because they're letting time slip away, not realizing that truth, if you just say it today, that may be the truth that set that person free from their small way of thinking and makes them step up to something different. Because if you look at Proverbs 12:22, it says, "The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy." Trustworthy is telling the truth. You're not telling people the truth for them most of the time. You're telling them the truth for God. And we need more people in the world today like that, because as a world, we need healing. And the only way you can heal is through a revelation of the truth.
So go back to what you said. God needs us to tell the truth.
Yes.
We're here to spread the truth. And it's not easy to do that. I mean, we were reading about Jeremiah the prophet and all of the persecution he went through by telling the kings and the false prophets and the officials about their sin and how they needed to repent and how God's punishment was going to come upon them. And in return,
he got punished.
He was persecuted.
Right.
He was thrown in jail, know. So in this day and age, when we're seeing so much sin, where we're not seeing leaders who are God-honoring leaders get up there and lead people astray, how do you become the truth, especially in a culture that will cancel you, that will, if you have a business and you do something that they don't like, they can potentially destroy your business, they can wreak havoc in your livelihood. How do you stand up for the truth in this day?
But you gotta understand the difference when if you are in a business, you're working for a business, and you're a administrative assistant, and you're working up under a so that's the different story. You have to build yourself up to a place to where you are able to have the ability to talk the truth to those people. I was talking
about you own your own business, mm-hmm. and you are being called to speak the truth, mm-hmm. which is not necessarily popular. Let's use the example about something that happened with this bakery. And
a bakery?
It was a bakery, and they had an order put in by someone who I don't know, the LGBTQ whatever community wanted a certain type of cake that went against this person's beliefs, and they were like, no, I'm not baking that kind of cake. And as a result, it was, oh, you're discriminating. Oh, you're, against the LGBTQ community. People wanted to boycott, not buy from their business, wanted to, I think it was even like a lawsuit or something. What do you do in situations like that? Because people are fearful. They're just like, I don't want to risk my livelihood. I don't want to have to go through something like that. So what is an encouraging word for people who may be in these situations where they know the truth, but it's not necessarily popular?
But I've been in situations, man. You just, like you said, there's a certain way you can tell the truth without it hurting. I mean,
avoid it.
It's not going to be the same in every situation, but there are a lot of times you can say it in a way to where, like, okay, I know you said that, even though I don't appreciate you saying that, but I'm gonna let you slide this time, kind of thing. That's just my opinion. I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, I've been in similar situations, and sometimes no matter how
you say it, the truth's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt. But, I think in me speaking truth to them, my only concern was, is God going to be pleased with me? Not
exactly.
Is this person going to be pleased with me? Is this person going to take offense? It was more so, is God going to take offense if I don't do what he is requiring me to do? And I think that's the problem. We are too busy concerned with what man can do to us versus what God can do to us.
But here's the key, though, and I get what you're saying, talking about business and out in the world and things of that nature. Let's start with the basics, which is if you can't get past your family truth, why step out to that arena? You have to build yourself enough within your closer circle to tell the truth before you can go out here and try to speak truth to the world. Because if you start speaking the truth to the world, they're going to come for you. So if they come for you and then you are not being truthful within your closest circle, which is your family, it doesn't make sense. So my thing is, what I'm trying to say is speaking the truth, basically start from the basics. Within yourself, be truthful with yourself first. A lot of people are not truthful with themselves. I had to be truthful with myself and say, man, you are a whore. That hurt me. I hurt myself like that, because it caused me to go back over my history and realize how much time I had wasted on being a whore. That hurt me. It's the truth. It hurt me to have to sit down and realize how much my lies hurt people. I had to be honest with myself about that. That's step number one, being truthful with yourself. And a lot of people don't want to be truthful with themselves. Once you're truthful with yourself, then you can go to the wife, or if you're not married, then you can go to mom, dad, whatever the case may be.
Do you know, and speaking the truth, that a lot of people may not say anything because they feel, I have a history or past, I've made mistakes, I don't have a leg to stand on to then go and tell somebody else, something truthful about what they're doing. And so some people just feel like, I can't say anything because I did it, or I've done all these other things. So,
Please, that's why it's really key to being truthful with yourself.
Sure, that's
the whole key for being truthful with yourself. Because if you can't be truthful with yourself, you can never make that step. You would never make that step to helping somebody else, because you're not truthful with yourself. But once you're truthful with yourself, you can tell your story and it doesn't bother you a bit.
And I think that's key. I think I've said before, it always starts with self first.
It's self.
Whatever you set out to do in life, you have to first start with yourself, putting the mirror in front of you and looking at all the good, all the bad, all the ugly, and crying out to God to basically cleanse you of all of the mess in you before you can go and help somebody else, and sometimes it's hard. It's people love to be distracted on everybody else's drama, everybody else's mess, because it alleviates you from focusing on
your
what's
truth.
going on with you.
Yes.
And so I think for us as a country, as a society, to be better, we all have the responsibility, step one, to start with ourselves.
Which is like Vody talks about a lot, which I love that he's able to take this on, and I know it's hard for him, which is which is talking about sin. Understand and realize you have sinned. That's it. Stand on your own convictions and say, you know what, I have sinned. That's why, he always talks about it. We're talking about prosperity, but we have skipped the sin part. And I understand what he's saying because I've lived it and done it for myself. And if you can't get past the sin, you may prosper and gain, but you still have to deal with that sin no matter what.
And even in dealing with sin, I don't know how we got from.
The sin leads you. You have to deal with sin to find, the truth.
And dealing with that, a lot of times, as we're looking at what we did, we have the ability to immediately identify what somebody else did in that situation. Let's say you're in a relationship and that person goes and cheats and then you do it. You're not focusing on what you did. It's like, well, I wouldn't have did what I did if that person. So you said you were in the slow.
Yeah, when I was in school, I was in the slow class. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not embarrassed about it either because it gives value to my story. It gives me the ability to look at other people and tell them, yes, you can.
Because now you have several degrees.
Several degrees.
Now certifications.
Been in some of the greatest industries in the world. Worked for some of the greatest companies in the world. Why? Through prayer and action and having faith in it.
Yeah.
I was not going to sit there and believe that because my father cannot, read at a certain level, that's the standard for me. A lot of people put that on themselves too. That, my dad and my mom, they didn't, so that's just my life.
It's a convenient cop-out, and I have to admit I've used convenient cop-outs to justify why I'm in the situation that I'm in. And I can honestly say I've been envious of other people who seem like they're progressing, but there is a huge difference between why I'm in my situation and why that person is in their situation. You will see they've put in the work. They put in the work. Like you said, somebody's like, oh, I don't have money to go to school and get a degree. Nowadays, everything is at your fingertip. Information, there's a plethora of information, whether it's online, in a book, I don't care. We don't have an excuse, but it's like, well, I don't have the money to go to school, so I'll never get a better job than where I am right now. Whatever the reason may be. And again, I will say I am guilty as charged. I've watched you put in endless hours of going through, reading books every night, every time you have spare time, diving into the word, and I'm just like, well, wait a minute, why haven't I got that revelation? I haven't put in the work. I haven't put in the work. And you, like you said, you have to be a person of action. You can pray and pray and pray, but if your mind and heart is not made up to where you are trying to change your behavior and it becomes nothing more than a lip service, that's all you're going to get out of it. It's just words. No actions. It's just words.
And trust me, I'm not discrediting prayer. Prayer is very important. I do it every day. So trust me that don't people try to, that I'm saying no, don't do that, because I do it every day. But
because we ought to pray without ceasing.
Yes. You have to still do the action. The action part is what a lot of people are doing. And thank you very much. And they're not doing the action. Even where, I've heard people say, with a situation that comes up that may not be, they could even have the answer to how to solve the entire thing, but they'll say, oh, we're going to pray and hope, let God deal with it and pray and let God just take care of it, even though you have the answer.
Well, there are some people who are saying, wait a minute, I disagree with you because let's use the weight loss thing. I've been exercising for 3 months. I've changed my diets and I don't see any weight coming off of me. Another thing that we have a problem with, guilty as charged me, is that you're not getting those instant results.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing. For example, I was doing very good at maintaining my weight. I think I lost like 30 pounds or something, and I've climbed back up that scale. But here's the thing, it didn't happen overnight. I had to be persistent. I had to make it a lifestyle change. And this is the thing, we want stuff instantly, and if we don't get it, we just give up. But you got to think about it. Those 30 or 40 pounds did not come on me in 3 or 4 months. I mean, it was time that weight was added on. So it may take some time for it to come off. Stay the course. Don't give up. Pray without ceasing. Have action without ceasing. And trust me, it will pay off. And you can apply this in your marriage. You can apply this in your career. You can apply this in your education. You can apply this in your business. I don't care what it is. You have to be consistent. You have to make it a lifestyle change, not just, I'm going to do it a couple of times here and miraculously something is going to change. Your finances. I'm cleaning up my finances. I don't understand why my credit score is not happening or why I'm still in debt. It takes time. You have to don't get to a point either where you're just relying on what you can do. It's a combination of trusting in God, allowing Him to lead the way, allowing Him to be able to trust you with whatever He has for you. And sometimes in that, you have to prove yourself worthy. Because when you get something quickly, you'll quickly dismiss it. You will, mistreat it, misuse it. So sometimes we have to go through longer than others, and that's the problem. We're keeping our eyes on other people. Well, this person lost 30 pounds in 3 months. Why can't I? You're not that person.
You can't get caught up in that too, because a lot of times people are not going to tell you a lot. They're not going to tell you how they lost the weight. A lot of people doing things, I would say, I don't know if it's immorally, but are doing things to quickly lose weight that may not be healthy for their body. It's a chance. You're taking a chance because that one shot that somebody takes, that could be the shot to take your life from you. So it's more important to, like she said, take your time and realize everything takes time, because what? It gives you a great appreciation.
It could also be a way that you're building your faith as you go.
That's what I was ready to say. I apologize for the dog. But, the faith is the key to all of it.
Building your faith as you go through any trial, any tribulation. It's like building muscle. You have to constantly exercise it. You have to put it through the test. You have to go through pain, but it's all worth it. And if you truly trust God and you want Him to change who you are, you're going to have to hold on for this ride. We're not saying that, oh my goodness, you just change your mindset and boom, it's going to happen. No, you're going to have to go through something. But
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But, because we got to, probably stop here, and probably, like I said, probably a part 2 to this, which is, just start with being truthful with yourself. First. Be truthful with yourself first.
Free yourself.
We'll come back next week and do a part 2 of this, because truth goes really deep.
It's like what In Vogue said, free your mind and the rest will follow.
Yeah, but I don't know about that one, but I guess so. But anything else you want to say, leaving with,
No, my mouth is kind of dry. Even though I have water in front, I didn't want to be on the camera. But
Yeah.
no, I don't have anything else to say.
You sure?
No, I need to get this weight off of me.
He ain't got no weight on you. Don't believe that she got no. He ain't. Anyway, we're gonna go back to some classes anyway. I'm going back to the classes. I'm gonna go by myself. I want to go just myself. Anyway, love you. You don't want to give me a kiss?
That's not what we were doing. Love you.
Oh, I love you. Oh, you didn't want to give me a kiss? It's always good to kiss people. I mean, your husband,
Kiss
and wife,
people?
your wife, husband
Your
and wife.
spouse?